Hey, it's Brett here, and I want to give you just a quick kind of rundown in regards to what's this clinic about. Delta Health, which was formerly originally Max Life Chiropractic, has been around since 2008. The idea pretty much since 2006 when I was still in chiropractic school. It's evolved a little bit over time, and certain things have kind of stayed the same. I mean, ultimately, our vision in this practice is that we become the first choice for people with regards to health, not an alternative version, not a second or third, but the first choice. Our country is built upon handling symptoms, creating a crisis, and ultimately dealing with the ramifications of that versus being proactive with care, finding better ways, healthier ways to deal with problems as they do arise. So our whole goal is, and that's the message we preach, is to be part of a lifestyle. And that's the whole idea, is that this becomes a first choice, not necessarily even a choice, but it is a consistent choice in regards to what people seek for health. We don't just adjust people here, we work on the mental side of things as well too, in terms of how they decide things. And that kind of rolls into ultimately what's our mission with this, is that if we can get people to believe differently about their health, they're going to take different actions. If beliefs are different, behaviors are different, therefore outcomes become different as well too. And that's really when you look back at like how we've thought about health for the longest time in our country, it's an outside in thing. This outside thing, this virus, this pill, this surgery, this genetic thing, quote unquote, that I don't have any control over affects me from a health perspective, which there's a little bit of truth to that. And I'm talking slightly, and science has disproven so many crappy theories over the course of time that health ultimately is an inside out deal, is that I take control, I take ownership over how I take care of myself. I take ownership over the thoughts that go through my head that all ultimately at the end of the day create this external thing that we produce, which is health over a course of time. So it's an inside out approach to things. It's also the mentality of, like I said before, the ownership to control side of it, is that when we're given the understanding and the ability to take control over our health, to take ownership over it, we then take better, more consistent, more disciplined actions to achieving it. So that's the whole idea here. If we can get people to understand that health comes from the inside out, not the outside in, now so they take different actions, those different behaviors now produce different outcomes as well too. Our country is way out of line on that in general. Our values in this practice are very simple. And I said one before that affects patients, but we talk about it in here from a team perspective, is ownership. Own your role. Like your world that box that you play in ultimately is the role that you own. You're the one who makes the decisions. You're the one who ultimately creates the outcomes that we have. When we make mistakes, we take ownership over them. When we achieve success, we take ownership over those as well too. The people that you're lead and in charge of, whether the patients or other team members, take ownership over those circumstances. We're not a big practice of, not at all a practice of passing blame onto other people. Is, you know what, like what can I do to do that better next time? Asking for feedback from people, that's taking ownership as well too. Like what can I do to make this better or easier or whatever, more efficient? That's taking ownership within things, taking the bull by the horns and getting things done. That's number one. Number two is truth. And ultimately that truth is, it's all about integrity. Like we know a truth that can help other people, therefore we speak it. We speak it boldly to other people on there. We also, from a truth and integrity standpoint, we do the right thing in here. Like if a patient should be paying something different, we need to refund them, or how we handle their care plan, or whatever it might be, do the right thing. If you're in their shoes, what's the golden rule? Like do unto them that you'd want done to you. We practice that, we never had to worry about it all at the end of the day. Next on that list is people. And ultimately, at the end of the day, people is our focus here. Like every single person we come in contact with, we make their day better. We make that moment better. We're present. They feel cared for. They feel valued. Whatever it is, like our main focus in here is not the process or the product ultimately that we're creating. It's the person. And put your attention there. We'll learn the details, we'll learn the nuts and bolts to it, but put your attention to the person in front of you each and every time. Our goal, we make their experience great and we make their day better. Lastly, our last value that we really preach in here is growth. And I just look at it's a 1% rule. It's like every single day, 1% better. You become 1% better at what you do, and you become 1% better at who you are. We're constantly working and evolving with that. We do that, all the other stuff takes care of itself at that point. We get a team of people who's taking on that mentality. The practice builds and grows itself over a period of time. So growth is a huge thing. That mentality of growth feeds into our patients as well too. And we preach it on our website, we preach it on our content that comes out on social media and our videos and all that kind of stuff. It's all based upon growing and advancing in some capacity on there. So that's our values with that. How do we implement this on a day-to-day basis? Ultimately, at the end of the day, like, our goal is to get a patient or a person out there to say, you know what, I think I want what they have. We want them to try us in some way on there. And we're confident in the fact that somebody who walks in this practice, the results and the experience will speak for themselves, that get people engaged, take the next step at that point. Once they're inundated in our practice, our job is to educate them. It's our job to educate them on, again, like I said before, how we think, why we think, and ultimately why we do what we do on a daily basis in regards to health and how we view life as a whole, really. It all falls together on there. So get them here to try it, educate them along the way. We got to deliver the results that we say we're going to deliver. And those results, like I said, they want to feel better. They want it to be something that at the end of the day keeps them better. They actually feel healthier. They're able to get back to what it is that they want to do, those activities of daily living. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what's the important stuff to them that they want to get better with? Those are the results they came here for. We can't ever forget about that. That's why holding them accountable to the schedule, making things easy for them to be involved in our practice in whatever capacity they're involved, like, that helps them stay engaged and ultimately get the results they want to get in here. And lastly on there, and this is something that we're all involved in, same with the results, but with this is just that experience that we create in here needs to be one of the best things they've ever experienced. If a person comes in here that's not even here to get adjusted, they came along with their buddy, their spouse, their friend, whatever, they leave here and they're like, man, that place is great. The energy there is awesome. Those people really care about you, and they do it the right way type of thing. We want that constant, quote unquote, mental review to be a 5-star review every single time on there. And again, we approach it that way. We do everything that way. We follow our values on that. That takes care of itself. So that's a little bit about our practice.